we collect registration, participation, questions and answers, chat comments, and poll responses for our programs. And then your individual data will be kept confidential and handled by authorized personnel. This data may be used for reports, maps, communication surveys, quality assurance, evaluation, research, and to also inform new initiatives. This session is being recorded, and then we'll be sharing a PDF version of the slides after the session through the email you registered. Okay, sorry, I'm just facing some few. Okay, participant tips to help you enjoy the session. And please have your camera on. The facilitator will unmute you when you need to speak. And then please use the raise hand feature in the Zoom when you want to speak. Kindly use the chat function for any questions. We have people specially designated to extract your questions and comments so we can read them out and have them answered in case of questions. Thank you. So the next item on the agenda is a brief about Farmalert. So we give this every day for every session. So Farmalert is an animal health social enterprise. And what we mean by social enterprise is it's an organization that helps people and at the same time has an aspect where you help people. And people here, I'm talking about major stakeholders in the animal health space. We're talking about the farmers, we're talking about the veterinarians, we're talking about NGOs, having NGOs that are into animal health, either sales or are into treatment of animals, animal health related NGOs, the government, and these are important stakeholders in the animal health space. So we collaborate with these people to make sure we're able to deliver affordable animal health care services in on the served communities in Nigeria and Africa at large. So through through engagement with at community level with farmers. And this session itself is our own way of engaging the veterinarians to make sure at every point we learn something and then we go back to share our new information with our circle. Thank you very much. And we'll keep learning about Farmalert as we go. The Tele-Education series is here to stay. So you keep hearing about Farmalert. And okay, so let's meet our vetpreneurs. We have with us today Dr. Akpem, Terese, Shadrach, who is the CEO, Mobovet Nigeria Limited, and the founder of Konnect. If you're a veterinarian, I'm sure lately you've been hearing about Konnect. So you're going to meet the person today and how he started his journey and where he is at the moment. And then we have Dr. Rosemary, Ileanwa Awotula. Forgive me, I hope I didn't murder your name. She's the CEO, Rosie's Veterinary Services. This is an interesting story because I would say I'm part of it because I knew when it started and where it is at the moment. Then we have Dr. Ejiofor, who is the CEO, Ejiocomrade Veterinary Consult, Abuja. Personally, I don't know why I like the name. It's bold, Ejiocomrade. You're all welcome. Will I call them storytellers for the day? Permit me to, I think it sounds really cool. And so we're just going to go in straight to have our vetpreneurs come on board and, tell us the story. So we're going to give 15 minutes each. We're going to give 15 minutes each to our startup vetpreneurs to take us through their journey. Thank you very much. We're going to start with
Dr. if you don't mind, the MDoc hasn't shared.
You said, sir?
We need to get MDoc to share their contribution.
Hello?
MDoc.
Yes.
MDoc needs to come up.
Okay. Permit me, I skipped a very important part of the agenda. I hope the MDoc team will find a place in their heart to forgive me. Can we have Adora from MDoc team to tell us a brief about Project TeCLA? Adora, forgive me. Good afternoon.
Hi, Tunisia.
How are you?
Hello, everyone. I'm fine, thank you. Great to be here. Welcome, everyone. My name is Adora Odukwe. I am a senior manager with MDoc Healthcare, and we are the convener of the TeCLA project, which Farmalert has so graciously taken way forward, and we're excited about it. The goal was to provide capacity building opportunities for our professionals, the suboptimal in-service training opportunities that were existing within the different sectors. So we started out with human health, and this has expanded to animal health because we see this as a critical piece that must also get the same level of capacity building opportunities, just like animal health. So we're happy to be here, happy to work with Farmalert to partner to push this learning via leveraging technology forward. So wish everyone a wonderful experience today. Please bring out your pens, your devices, because there's a lot of knowledge that will be shared and things that you can take away from the session. Over to you, Tunisia. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you very much, Adora. As she said, you're going to be learning a lot today. So take out your pen and your paper to jot down important points here. And I missed out something very important. Farmalert is actually the first animal health organization to leverage the ECHO model.
All right, good afternoon, everyone.
Yes.
Yes, I am super excited to be here. I want to thank Dr. Femi so much for extending the invitation. Most delighted to connect with everyone who's on the call, and most especially for, Farmalert for putting this together and enabling this platform so that persons like me and Dr. Rosemary and every other person who is going to be sharing their story today here get the opportunity to, share what they are doing with a larger audience. I think it's not going to be me exaggerating when I say that, Dr. Femi is very aware of my story, and where it actually got prominence was right in Kogi in 2019 when he hosted the NVMA convention in Kogi State. For those of us who were there, that's where I had the opportunity of pitching Vet Konnect, and I think the rest is history, as I will try to put together in 10 minutes or less. So my name is Akpem Shadrach. I am the founder of Vet Konnect, because that's the story I'm going to be projecting more today. So Mobovet, I started shortly after I left school in 2017, basically trying to do the traditional thing of putting together veterinary care services, where I would see how I can, provide the needs for people, at least in the locality, because as you know, when you're physical, what they see around you, it's what they can be able to assess. But it didn't take long for me to realize that, there's so much you can do as far as assessing something physically is concerned. So it means people need to be able to see you, people need to be able to know about you to assess you. But what technology does is it actually breaks that barrier. So there's this thing where we'll say someone is shaking the table or breaking the table. So technology has literally broken the table as far as our barrier is concerned. And how did I quickly know this? Because of my experience as a digital skills trainer, I've been in that space for give or take 5-6 years now. One of the things I quickly learned was that, I could put myself out there and be able to get more persons to assess me easier than having to wait or open up every morning waiting for people to be able to see me. So I leveraged Google, my business at the time. The name has now changed to Google Business Profile. And I was getting a lot of calls. Oh, I just came into town and I looked online and I found you. And then I asked myself, how many other veterinary doctors share the reality I was experiencing at the time? And that was when I now started seeing the need to see what we can do differently to bring this change. So in 2018, I started thinking around, okay, what can we do differently? And it built up to 2019. And for me, it was to address 4 cardinal challenges. First, and I will try to paint this picture so that we all will appreciate it. If you are in a location and you wanted to get somewhere very fast and you probably don't have your car around, the next thing that will come to your mind will be Bolt or Uber. If you wanted to make a hotel reservation, the next thing that will come to your mind will be Airbnb. But in today's conventional world, if you wanted to access veterinary services, there will now be a lot of conflicting answers coming to your head. In fact, most thing that will happen is someone will just say, let me Google and see. So this Google and see has landed a lot of livestock farmers and a lot of pet owners into serious problems because you see a lot of terrible information that is shared online claiming to be information to treat or solve problems, which I felt was a huge gap that needed to be addressed. And that is what bettered Vet Konnect. So 2019, like I said, I was in Kogi and pitched, and to the glory of God, I emerged. So the next task was to now actually deploy this initiative. The first attempt came with these challenges because the first lesson I now learned was beyond just having resources in terms of money. If you don't have the team with the required expertise to drive what you're doing, you're going to use that funds, but you won't be able to arrive at the destination you want to go to. And we learned this because, yes, we had a few developers on our team then who would take us to where we want, but they could not move us beyond that level. So quickly we realized, okay, we built an MVP, but it had a few errors, and I immediately had to withdraw back and see how we improve on the product and come back again. So we fell back in, and that taught me to see, okay, let's assemble a team, because we were going to build a team, but we still need to be able to access money to deploy. At that time, the money was not there, but we said, let's move on. And the lesson here for me is most times we want to do things, but we feel, okay, since I don't have the money, I'm not going to, let me just wait till I get money. The truth of the matter is, even when the money comes, the person offering you the money is going to ask you what you have been doing differently. And that is what brought us to where we are today. So we decided on the need to put together a team and basically break it down into 4. Of course, aside from the fact that my co-founder, Dr. James Ejiokomrade, was really bringing a lot of support to the table, we put this structure together, and it was very instrumental in helping us kickstart our journey. So instead of telling this long story, I'm just going to quickly share my screen if I'm enabled, so that I would can I quickly share my screen? Can anyone hear me? Okay.
Hello, Doc. You're a co-host. You should be able to share your screen. Let me stop sharing.
Right. Okay.
Yours can come up.
All right.
Yes,
So I'm doing that now. Okay.
I'm enjoying the story.
Thank you very much. All right.
We have less than 10 minutes to go.
Less than how many minutes?
Less than 10 minutes.
Sure, I'm going to close the time.
All right, no problem.
Right. So, if you see my screen, for those of you who are already on this platform, this is Vet Konnect, right? And what are we doing? Simply, we are connecting veterinary doctors to pet owners and livestock farmers across Nigeria. So we have a presence across all states. So if I wanted to locate veterinary doctors, say in Benue, I could just click Benue and it filters out and just shows me the vet doctors in Benue State. So that is one way. Aside from that, if I wanted to focus just on veterinary clinics, I just come here and the veterinary clinics. If I thought, okay, I want to set up a farm and I really don't know what it's going to cost me, for instance, to feed 100 birds, broiler birds, I can just come here and select for the duration of time that I'm going to feed them, enter the number of birds, and it generates the quantity I need. So I just need to now convert it in the conventional size in terms of 25 kg. So I want to connect to a pool of vendors for my livestock and pet needs. I come here and I'm able to assess them. Then we took it a bit further. Now there's something happening anytime, because people feel good with the presence of Google, you are able to access anything you want online. But we can tell for a fact that that is not entirely true, because a lot of the information there can be misleading, because it's basically leveraging the information that people are putting there. So we put together a virtual assistant, which is leveraging AI to predict based on the science that you are imputing in it, and then it connects you back to a veterinary doctor. So what we also decided to do,
sorry, hello, Doc. Sorry, I'll have to interrupt you for.
Okay.
Okay, I think basically it's like an interesting, process and everything, but would really love to know more of how you started for both the Konnect and most interestingly, the Mobovet. So if you could just take us through how you started, like the challenges, the ups and downs, because people are just seeing you now. They really need to know how you came about all this very beautiful, this beautiful looking app, and then your clinic that you have now. So let me just tilt you back, if you don't mind.
Okay. So thank you for guiding my hand. So let me try to do that.
Yes,
I'm sure I have less than 5 minutes probably. So let me try to wrap that up just as a way of wrapping up. I think for me, I didn't start veterinary medicine exactly knowing why I wanted to do it. That's the blunt truth for me. I wanted to study human medicine, but unfortunately that didn't show up. And I heard about veterinary medicine for the first time in 2008. So I got into it, and midway, 400 level, I now found passion for it. I now saw that if I wanted to come back again, I want to be a veterinary doctor. So for me, it was not just enough to add to the pool of the people who probably just end up in the class as a lecturer, which is exciting, or clinic, or just be a vet by the box that we are examined to be in. So I wanted to do more, and that is what opened me up, and that's why beyond just Mobovet, Vet Konnect was better. So for me, it's always about the need to close the gap. And the gap for me has been that the fact that there's a huge challenge in terms of access to veterinary services. So when I wanted to start, I didn't have everything I needed, but I started anyway. So the first thing for me was building a team, because somehow, maybe I might not find the science to explain it. Anytime you find out a way to move forward, you're able to attract the kind of resources, whether it's human resource, material resource, or even financial resource to help you drive the process. And it's always important in your journey to identify those who share your vision, because anything you're going to be building for yourself that is tied across or around you will always collapse. Because the question is, how will it sustain itself? So building teams is very critical, and removing yourself from the central picture of everything you do. And this is applicable both in Mobovet, because at Mobovet, there's something we were doing last year where I will still run it till now, where we rotate it. So today, another vet under Mobovet would be the one in charge of decision making. And at the end of the month, we review what was done wrongly and what can we improve on. Now you're able to allow people express their leadership capacities, because there's this flair to want to be in the center of everything. But one thing I've learned about leadership and making sustainable impact is the need to take away yourself from the bigger picture. Because if it's not about you, then you need to be able to project the right thing. And that is what we're doing. So the journey for us is just starting. We're not where we want to be yet, but we definitely have left, the dockyard. So we're already sailing. So what I would want to tell everyone listening today who wants to build something or who's already building something is, challenges are going to always come. You're not going to have everything you want to do at the same time. But because you took that decision to move forward and then you have validated that need, because it's important, you need to be sure that what you want to do is actually needed. Once you find that validation, then you can be sure that you'll be able to attract all the resources you need. And always reach out. You can never be wrong when you're asking a question. So I think at this point, I'll just first, and if there's something I missed or you want me to say specifically, you can now bring it up.
Okay. Thank you so much, Dr. Shadrach. I think it's safe for me to call you Dr. Shadrach because I don't want to mother anybody's name this afternoon. Thank you very much. We'll be having question and answer session. So if there is more, we have people who want to hear more about your journey, and then you send questions and comments, and then we'll direct them to you. And so can you stop sharing your screen, please? Thank you.
Yes.
All right.
All right.
All right. Thank you. So I can put back mine. So I hope somebody picked up something, because I did, because this is somebody using IT technology to solve real-time problem, which is accessing, qualified veterinarians, answering questions like what quantity of feed do I need to use? Do I need to raise my birds? So these are real-life problems, that need solutions, and there are more of them, and we need this solution. So if you've been brewing this idea, you can, Dr. Terese, I hope you're open to guide, people who would want to do something, similar, use IT to solve a problem.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yes. All right. Thank you very much. So this is just some pictures from, when he started. We can see some empty shelves here, and then, the shelves got fuller. And then you all saw Dr. Terese. I'll say he's looking good. So definitely something is working out. So thank you so much. And then we're going on to the next person, Dr. Ejiofor. He's the CEO, Ejiocomrade Veterinary Consult, Abuja. This is going to be a very beautiful story because he has like 2 branches already. So Dr. Ejiofor, can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself, please? Dr. Ejiofor, can you hear me? Can you unmute yourself, please? Dr. Ejiofor, are you with us? Can you unmute yourself? Okay, maybe he's in some few, let's just give him some few seconds, and then he'll be with us.
Me. Okay. Can you hear me? Let me leave this.
Yes, you're audible, Doc.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you from here.
Good. So should I go on?
Introducing yourself, we'll have the screen up. And
okay.
Yes.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, the moderator, Dr. Tunisia. I'm very, very glad to be called upon to share a few of my experiences and my humble beginning. It's not that much. Even the 15 minutes you've given me, I don't think I will exhaust it. I will rather entertain questions which will make me to portray some of them. I started very small. Okay, if you share the screen. I started with two tables. One of is my diagnostic table and my desk with nothing on the shelf. So after I started exactly on 2019, September to be precise. So from September till December of that year, I was on only just two tables at my diagnosing table. Then after a while, I started having some clients and the like. So a year on 2020, so I had to build one shelf, which I think it should be on the screen soon next. And with few of stocks I have there through some what do you call it? Through one of my wholesale, my distributor then that gave me some product on wholesale. Started with Biocara products, which I used to supply some vets. Even till now, I still do it. So until 2022, 2021 to be precise, I started increasing my shelf with my client load. But one thing always boils in my mind, which Dr. Monjo used to tell us in our vet forums there. He said, you don't need to wait or to borrow money. You can start at small. According to him, he said he started in his garage in his house. So that statement alone boosts my morale. So that's how I now pick up with my distribution, the supplying goods to some vets within Kubwa and environs with my clinical work. So once I finish doing my house call, I don't take my money back rate. I will and stock my shelf. Then heart, because persistency, they say, wins the race. And once you have two things in mind, focus and determination, with your little effort, you'll get to your destination. That has been the jarring force. On November last year, I had another one in that one. So, and even in that one, I stock them too. So I've been on the toil. I had both short and long-term goal. My long-term goal is to have a veterinary hospital. So next, in a few years to come. The short-term goal is to have at least 4 or 5 clinics within the villages, because that's where vet services are needed. Town is good though. But if vets in some rural areas where vet services are needed most. So that's one of my short-term goals, to diffuse those areas so that vet services could reach there. Then to be employers of vets too, because there are some vets who cannot even start as I started so small. They wanted to start big. So I can advise them and employ them small to see how it all should be, in case if you don't have maybe Abraham as father, maybe someone that can borrow you money to start very gigantic. You can just start in a miniature, and from there you can boost. I think I have a lot of challenges. Maybe question and answer question section will now allow me to boost them up. So my little contribution is this to the veterinary profession, to reduce quackery and to make sure that the services rendered in my office is what is acceptable and what is within the veterinary jurisprudence. I think I will rest my case now small, so that if there is any other section. Thank you very much for now.
Okay. All right, Dr. Ejiofor, thank you very much. And I think after after all you said, I picked out one particular thing that you said, and I know Dr. Monday. So the part where you said he told, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, that was what drove you, to start. A successful senior colleague is telling you, I didn't start today, I started today. So I hope we all picked up and ask yourself, what can you start with at that point? What can you, it's not about what you need, but what do you have, to start with? And then from there, the sky is your starting point. So the next person, so Dr. Ejiofor will be taking more questions. We'll be taking questions after after hearing from Rose's Veterinary Services. Dr. Rose, can you unmute yourself?
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, hello. We can hear you. Good afternoon, Dr. Rose.
Good afternoon, everyone. It's good to be here. It's good to see you, Dr. Tumsi.
Thank you. Thank you, Doc.
I want to appreciate Farmalert for the opportunity. I don't know, can you all see me?
No, we can't see you, but we can hear your voice.
Okay, I don't know how to.
Okay, you have to turn on start your video.
Okay. Can you all see me now?
Not yet.
Hello?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. My name is Rosemary Awotula. I'm happy to be here. My in veterinary entrepreneurship started very, very young. I started with dog baiting and dog grooming as a veterinary student. While whenever I'm on holidays, I have some people, neighbors, I tell them, okay, I am a vet student. So if you have a dog that is dirty, I can bait your dog for you. I can groom them. I can cut their nails. So while in school, I already knew that I wanted to go into veterinary practice. So immediately after graduation, I started internship with Bridges Animal Care, Dr. Ejiocomrade. So I did a 1-year internship with her, of which she exposed me to so many things. I learned a lot of things. And although prior to that, I was always going for industrial training with Imperial. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. We can hear you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was going for my industrial training with. Okay, sorry. With Imperial Animal Clinic, where I worked before gaining admission into veterinary college, and then my IT in 2014 in NVRI VOM. 2014 was when I learned how to inject. Dr. Boat was the one who taught me how to inject. So that was how the passion for veterinary medicine started. And then in 3rd of August, okay, immediately after my 3 months in diploma training in Cardinal Business School, so I got a place. The rent was 150,000 naira, and I told my sister about it, that I want to rent a place not very far from the house, but the rent is 150,000 and all I had is 10,000 naira. So she said, okay, she will see what she will do about it. At the end of the month, she gave me the money, said I should go and pay the rent. And that was how I was able to secure the place. And then with the 10,000 naira I had, I paid a carpenter to start with the demarcation and shelving of the place. And then Dr. A.O, who is my friend and colleague, she gave me 20,000 naira. She gave me 20,000 naira to add to what I had. And then I had lots of friends, angel investors who heard about what I was doing. Someone like Dr. Joyce, she just called me and she transferred 10,000 naira into my account. So with that money, I was able to buy 1 crate of dog food and then half dozen of dog soap. And then I called some of my senior colleagues to pray in the premise, and then we had a little opening ceremony. And from there, God was just faithful. And then Dr. Femi Kayode, after being an ambassador in VetAC, that was where I met Dr. Femi Kayode. So he stumbled on my picture, and then he was like, wow, Doc, I'm excited. I'm happy with what you're doing. I need you to do something. I said, okay, I want you to open a business account. And then in my mind, I was like, God, where am I going to get 10,000 naira to open a business account? So I got a case that week. I treated a dog for babesiosis, and then I was able to raise the 10,000 naira. So I went to UBA Bank. I opened the account, and then I told him that I opened the account. He now said, okay. He just took me by surprise, and then he wrote something on his Twitter and his Twitter account, and he said he needed some veterinarians to key into the dream and to make some contributions. And that was how people that I didn't know from anywhere, they started sending money. Some sent 10,000, some sent 20,000. And before the 2019 Kogi convention, they were able to raise 150,000 naira for me from people that did not know. I did not know them from anywhere. So it was a stepping stone for me. Like I didn't just start with all of my own efforts. I had people that were there to support and to back me up. Dr. Usman of Vetco asked me, Doctor, what do you want? And I told him I don't have a shelf. He said, okay. He sent his carpenter who came there, took measurements, and then they helped me with a glass shelf. So from there, we started getting referrals from senior colleagues who are so busy that cannot attend to some of their clients. They refer their cases to us, and then we are able to treat and make more sales. So it was a humble beginning that grew over time, and today we have another branch in Lagos, to the glory of God. So I am so grateful to God for helping me through it all and for bringing in people and helping me to share my ideas with people, because the truth is, if you want to start, you don't need to shelve yourself. A lot of young veterinarians are afraid to talk about their vision, to talk about their dreams. But when you have the opportunity, when God grants you the opportunity to meet people, tell them about what you're doing, tell them about your dreams, tell them about your vision. And if they key into it, they will support you. Some might not give you money, but they will give you ideas. They will teach you things you need to know to start up, and which is very, very important. A lot of people just want to start big, but it's not always like that. A lot of people want to start a clinic and they cannot even inject a pet, you know. So internship is very, very important. It helped me to meet a lot of people from the place of my internship. When senior colleagues come, you know, my senior doc will introduce me to them. This is my veterinary intern, you know. So from there, I was able to meet a lot of people, and it was an amazing journey. We've had so many challenges here and there, but we have pulled it through. We've been boggled several times, but even with such setbacks, we're able to still continue the journey. I know whenever you have the opportunities to apply for grants, I'm a beneficiary of Tony Elumelu Foundation. You know, a year after my clinic started in 2020, I got a Tony Elumelu Foundation scheme. So it was a milestone for me. It was a milestone for me. So it helped me to do a lot of things. It's little savings here and there. You know, it's not every big project you make that you spend. Some you reserve it, you put it in a savings. This one goes for vaccine. This one goes for feed. This one goes for pet shelf. This one goes for a project for the clinic, or maybe a new item for the clinic. So like that, and it's been an amazing journey. So I don't know if I can stop here.
Dr. Rose, thank you very much. I think I'll tell the end of the story because I know the story. She has 2 branches now. She started in Cardinal, and then she has a branch in Lagos. Personally, I am very proud of Dr. Rose. We're in school together, and I hope that was why I said we needed pictures. She started with half a dozen of dog soap and a crate of dog food. We all saw how empty the shelf was looking. And then look at what we have today. So this is, I think it's enough for a willing man to be inspired. Thank you so much, Dr. Rose. I will bring on Dr. Femi Kayode to take the discussion, question and answer session. Dr. Femi, the floor is yours for the next 30 minutes. Make sure you send questions on the chat box. We have people extracting them, your questions and your comments. Feel free. You have these people to ask them today. This is an opportunity. So Dr. Femi, over to you. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Tumsia, for a good job done. So I want to, maybe on behalf of everyone, I know Dr. Tumsia has welcomed us, to welcome us again. And also to thank our storytellers today. You know, our last echo session, we had over 200 people. Now we're having about 100 because usually people don't believe that much in startups, especially when you're struggling. And, you know, Dr. Tumsia intentionally picked these stories because sometimes it's difficult to connect with where you are with where you're going. Dr. Abimbola Ocean last time, Dr. Gani did not start. In fact, they started with this story. I'd like you to share the slide again for people to see the first picture of Dr. Rose, his empty shelf. His empty shelf. I love to see that. And now, because we're going to be asking them questions and we're going to be connecting with the questions, right? Because when some of us started too, we started with planks. I remember buying planks and then I asked a carpenter to shave the plank so that it will look like a little bit nice. So the first picture, the picture before this, no, the picture before this, the picture before this. Exactly. No. The first picture for Rose's bed. Dr. Rose, please, can you turn on your camera? I want people to see you.
Okay.
And be very proud of you. This is how you started. With empty shelves, right? So
yes,
let me do a question with you, right? You mentioned in your story that you even didn't have money to open a corporate account.
Yes, sir.
Like you didn't have money to open a corporate account. And we can see your shelf is very full. I can count the number of cans, canned food that is there. What was the biggest obstacle you had to overcome to start? Because there are people here who are concerned about starting because they are ashamed of things like this. Were you ever ashamed? What was the biggest obstacle? Because, you know, nobody will come into this vet store, this very beautiful vet store, although empty, and we see the future. And sometimes it might even affect your esteem.
Yes.
Let's count. How many canned food is here? 3, 5, that's 8, plus 5, that's 13, plus 3, that's 16. The other one, they are dog soap, right?
Yes, that was the day after the opening ceremony. So few on that day. So that picture was taken the day after the opening
And you
ceremony.
opened this way and you called it a ceremony. You didn't hide it, right?
We called it, said, Dr. Ila was there.
Well, okay, so 2 questions, and I'm going to ask Comrade also and ask Shadrach, right? What is the biggest hurdle in starting small? What did you have to overcome? Because again, it's inspiring that you could have less than 24 pieces of dog food and you called it an opening ceremony. Go ahead. What was the biggest hurdle you had to cross?
The boldness to start, you know, the boldness to start. At a point, you could feel complacent, like, okay, let me just be going to people's houses. Nobody knows. Okay, I don't have an office. Let me just be like a freelance vet, and you know, is comfortable. It's easier that way. But for you to be able to make an impact and act, if that is exactly what you want to do, I think an office space will be a good idea, because it was part of my training as a student in Cardinal Business School. You know, where can your clients meet you? You know, I had a small complimentary card, and one of my classmates then in Cardinal Business School, he joked about, he said, you have a complimentary card and you don't, please, before we finish this place, we want to come to your office. You know, they were also inspiring. And also my director then in Cardinal Business School, I told him I wanted to start a place and I don't have anything. He said, start with whatever you have.
Exactly.
Start with whatever you have. The week before the opening ceremony, he gave me 5 chairs.
Wow.
To put in the reception areas.
Wow.
You know. So I think for most people is the boldness to start small.
Exactly.
You know, it looks so embarrassing that you are starting like that. You know, a lot of people want to gather like 500K, 1 million. It's good to do good things, but it will limit you if that money never gets to your when you don't get that level that you are expecting, it will limit you. So for me, it was starting with what you have.
So again, Dr. Rose, I think this is very inspiring. You mentioned the boldness to start. Resources will catch up with you when you are a step ahead of them. So I think I buy into that. Like, you got support, but if you didn't start, support will not come.
That's true.
I take that to heart. Comrade Ejiofor, Comrade Veterinary, right? So again, the same story, but I think you mentioned something very critical in your story, that if you go and attend to probably a client and you make some money, you will invest that money into your business. Tell me how that contributed to your growth, because you know we have a lot of young people who are eager to wear the best of shoes, wear the best of clothes on a very weak foundation. They are quickly eager to be associated with success when in their account is 0. You have the courage not to eat your profit, right? But to reinvest. Tell me why that was very important for you in your journey.
Yeah.
We can hear you, comrade.
Good. Thank you very much for that question. What I did then was, I don't allow any money I made on a particular day to follow me to my house. So immediately once from the client's house, he pays me. I will go direct to Dr. Dan and always office in Pet and Vet in Kubwa. I'll buy as small as 1 crate. Yes, from that 1 crate, I will go and shelve it to my time. That's how I've been. Then one thing that pushed me to even go and wait to have my office was, first of all, what I did after graduation is I sighted a signpost close to my house. So that signpost will be direct. If you call me, I will tell you I'd rather come to your house. But one man asked me one question that pushed me out of my house. And the question was, I say yes. Please, I needed a neck collar and chain. Allocate your office, your signboard. I say, sir, is it not better you tell me your house? I'd rather prefer supply it to. I say no. Then I say no. I want to come to your office so that I will get other things. Is this for now? I don't have of you. I say, why did you not put the signpost here? Very big signposts are very attractive. So the man pushed me out of my shell. So I had to, one of the house call I did close to where I live with my brother then. So I now found one shop there. So that's how I started. Even that man, the man's son, even wanted to discourage me too. Because then I didn't have that 150,000 that I paid for that place. I had only 120. So my brother now said, hey, go now. There's nobody who show money. And tell him that you balance him later. That will not find some compassion. If it's okay, bring. When are you balancing? You set a particular date. To my greatest surprise, the man's son turned me back. So I thought you had full money. So I made one statement when I was leaving the man's house, the compound. I said, God, if this place will build my office, it will wait for me until that money is completed. But if it's not my own, no problem. So be it. I just dust my leg from that gate and I left. So I've been doing supply with Biocara products there to some people. 3 days after, the woman I supply in Dusseldorf paid me exactly 20,000 naira to my account. And I went to the bank and withdraw that money, add it up to that rejected 130,000 and went to pay that money. That's how I secured that place. That was why I was unable to even buy any shelf. It was on that. So that's it. So I just started like that. It has been an experience so far. Honestly. Hello. Okay.
All right, comrade.
Yeah.
I think Dr. Ejiofor's network is not very good.
You said I should unmute myself.
Yes, okay, he's back. Unmute yourself. We can see you, we can hear you.
So can you hear me? Am I on now? Dr. Tumsia, am I on?
Yes, you're on, Dr.
Yes, you are.
All right, good. Pardon me. Yes, I went off. Okay, can you hear me now, Dr. Tumsia?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
All right. Okay, so I went off a little bit, but I'm glad I'm back. So, comrade, I want to especially thank you for the boldness you showed but to also let people know that in the journey of entrepreneurship, that's the story. And I want to thank you specifically, Dr. Tumsia, for arranging these people, right? Because sometimes we show success. We don't show people on their way to the top. He didn't have his rent money complete. Comrade Ejiofor, can you just turn the camera away from yourself and show yourself? Show yourself.
Okay.
Right. Turn it to the number of dog. Well, for Dr. Rose, we could count. For yours, it's difficult to count now. But you made mention of something that that you didn't allow any money go home with you. Right?
No. Yes.
Anytime you make any money, even if it's as small as one crate you go to buy.
Great.
I want to tell everybody listening, right? And you're a vet, you have difficulty in starting, right? Things grow, businesses grow. They are like living things, they can grow. If Comrade Ejiofor doesn't have his complete rent money and now he has 2 outlets, it's because like every other living thing, businesses can grow. And you are the determining factor. I want to thank you, Dr. Ejiofor, for your leadership, and then of course for your courage. I'll be taking questions now, but I want to go to Dr. Shadrach. Right, yes, Dr. Shadrach, are you on board?
Yes, I am.
Dr. Terese. All right, good. So you all are also another one inspiring story, right? Tell me the most difficult entire journey. Because I know it could be tough, and you just got married, so there's a lot more there's a lot more demand on you. What's the difficult part of starting this whole thing, and what do you have to say to young people out there who don't have the capital? And people give excuses that the reason why they've not started it is because they don't have capital. Am I correct?
Very true.
Yes.
Do you have capital to start? Do you even have money to open bank account? Do you even have money to rent your stuff? So the story around not having capital, that's why you're not starting, is for lazy people, right? Am I correct, Dr. Shadrach? Can you please, if you believe that, can you expand on that?
So much, Doc. It's really exciting to listening to Dr. Ejiofor and Dr. Rosemary. I mean, it's success for me is very predictable, right? But it takes a lot of consistency. And I will just make a twist in terms of the start small story, right? The reason why we have people in front of us is so that we'll learn and improve on the experiences that I've gone through. In today's world, there is what we now call partnership. The word is very old, but it's more relevant today, where you are able to collaborate with someone to do something bigger. Now, let me give a case in point. We have said here that, this is where we started with the little we had. But what if we're able to actually identify like minds like us? So maybe we had 10 naira, and we're able to identify 500 people with 10 naira, and we'll bring it together. That is 60 naira. So if we're able to do what we did, 6 naira will do times 6 of it. So as young people or as veterinarians wanting to start, do not be afraid to reach out to like minds to collaborate, to try to find out if someone is actually going to, or who shares a particular vision. I know the problem really is, most times we are interested in saying, I am the one that did it. So if your name is not going to be on the door, I'm not interested. But big picture thinking, like I said, takes away the individual and looks at the bigger thing everyone is building. One of my senior friends will tell me that he would rather own 10% of 100 billion naira than own 100% of 100 million. So because when you look at it, the scale is more. So as people, it is, you have very meager resources, coupled with how you see quacks bringing so much money and then throw around. So you see yourself frustrated and all of that. So do not be scared to reach out to seek collaboration if the opportunity comes. And always find that validation in yourself. Is this the journey I want to be on? Because if you are truly not cut out for it, because truly everyone cannot be an entrepreneur, but everyone should have that mindset to be able to solve problems. So if it's not your journey, know exactly where to find yourself at an early stage, because that way you don't burn too many resources before you start backtracking. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much for raising that collaboration, partnership, right? Sometimes you alone will not be enough. You will always need people along your journey. You will always need people. And I will come back to you on that. But let me ask, so I'm picking questions now from the chat. I saw something very interesting. Somebody said, oh, with his salary now, he thinks he can start. Because have you ever seen somebody holding 500,000 and still feel it's inadequate? Million and still feel like he's not ready to get married. You will never marry. Because I've seen somebody with 50,000 naira. In fact, I was in a particular northern state, and they asked, so there was an argument of how much it takes to get married. And somebody said he had 100 and something thousand. His neighbor said he's going to marry like that. See, money is relative, right? Yeah. You could have 1 million and think it's not enough. You could have 120,000, right? But if you are convinced that that's the path you need to take, like Dr. Ejiofor, you will look for avenue to find expression with the little you have. And we said, just like a seed, an idea grows. And I'm very proud of this set of entrepreneurs, because I know you are going to inspire a lot of people to do a lot of things. To Dr. Rose, right? Somebody said, apart from recommendations from senior colleagues, okay, maybe I'm going to ask you 2 questions in one, right? Okay. Are you able to have that confidence that you can be on your own? So, because sometimes we get out of school with this fear that, have I learned enough?
Yeah.
Sometimes we even kill clients' patients, dogs, our patients, right? Can I stand alone? Somebody brings a tough case. Can I handle it alone? You fidget. And then after overcoming that, have you sat down in a place and then from morning to night, nobody walked into your establishment? So how do you build confidence that as a vet, you can be on your own? And how do you attract clients? The question specifically was that, apart from recommendation from senior colleagues, how else were you able to get clients to patronize you when you were starting? But please balance it with how did you have confidence to start on your own and grow? Go ahead.
Okay. And again, I was very, very small. A lot of people, when they meet me, the first question is, are you the vet? And then I'm like, yes, I'm the vet. So they're like, are you sure? You're sure you're not the sales girl in this shop? I say, I am the vet. I say, okay, this is the complaint, and God helping me, I'm able to treat the animal gets better, and they see the way I play with the animal. I play with my pets a lot. I play with them a lot. We jump on our body, we roll on the floor, we do a lot of things. So they just like, okay, I like the way you handle my pets. I love the way you love my dog. There was a man that made a statement, said, if only my wife loved the dog the way my doctor loved the dog will not suffer. For me, they gain the confidence when they see how I handle the animal, and the referrals. A lot of referrals come from the clients, because after treating a pet, another person will call you and say, okay, my friend gave me your number, and also telling people about what you do, posting it on your WhatsApp status. Okay, I have a dog on admission. His name is Teddy. Teddy is not feeling well. He's not eating well. Please pray for Teddy. And you see people posting comments. Oh, sorry, Teddy. We wish you quick recovery. There was a case of tetanus I treated in a monkey. the woman she had a Lhasa and an Eskimo in the house, and she got my number from a colleague of hers. So I the house for house visit. She now said she just felt like telling me maybe I know someone that will be able to treat the monkey since it's only dog I'm doing. I said, no, I'm a vet. I can treat all animals. I've never touched a monkey before. So there was a colleague of mine, Dr. Bashir. He was serving in Calabar, in one of the wildlife parks in Calabar. So I called him and I told him about the case. I said, it's tetanus, but how do I go about it? He now said, okay, do this. And after treating for 2 weeks, the monkey responded to treatment. And she was like, Doc, to be honest, I did not know that this monkey will survive. She's a medical doctor. Her friend died of tetanus while they were in secondary school. She said the monkey brought back memories, and the very first day she saw the monkey paralyzed, she had already given up. The monkey's name is Viju. So Viju survived and he's doing well today. So that gave me other clients from her. So referrals from successful cases, even those that were not successful, like people that lose their dog from parvo enteritis. They're like, Doc, we know you tried. Thank you, but we know you tried. And they still refer to other clients too, just because of the way you attend to them. So for me, that was
I wish I can take these stories down to the university, because, you know, we hear a lot of scary stories that make us lose confidence in ourselves. You know, I've always had this in mind that if you want to mess up confidently, right? Like, be confident in the messing up. Not the literal mess, but in not doing a good job. I hear some comments, right? Dr. Motayo said, my first rent was a loan from a client and I paid back in 2 months. I think we should also pick stories like that. Dr. Ejiofor had 120. Somebody didn't have anything, loaned it and paid back in 2. So you can imagine that kind of boldness. Some people, you know, there was a time I was owing a lot of money. And what I used in convincing myself is that I googled what Dangote was owing. I told myself, if Dangote could be sleeping, I have no business with sleepless nights, right? Somebody said veterinary entrepreneurship course should cover this kind of story to motivate young vets. And I think I'm really very happy with what I'm hearing. So referrals, you mentioned referral, and referral is a big part of everything. I'm coming back to I'll take Dr. Ejiofor, I'll take Dr. Shadrach, and then I'll hand over the stage back to Dr. Tumsia to pick every other question I've missed, and then, of course, to take on the entire program. So, Dr. Ejiofor, comrade, I'm inspired to ask you how you got that name, and if CAC actually accepted that Ejiofor comrade vet. But again, it's unique. And then I think I like it. Somebody said, my question is for Dr. Ejiofor. Did you actually started gaining practicing experience while you are in vet school through like Cywes IT, like Dr. Rose said? So again, I think it still boils down to the first question I asked Dr. Rose, right? So I know we will learn as we go, but how was it for you? Have you treated a case and the case died in your hands because you didn't know what to do? How were you able to solve that? How were you able to gather experience, confidence to be able to get to this stage and open 2 outlets? Go ahead, Dr. Ejiofor.
Yeah, thank you very much. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Good. To me, in every success, there must be failures, but you must learn from your failures so that such failures will not replicate.
You're right.
Okay, like my school days in the University of Ibadan, my lecturer will tell you this clinic is the best place to make your to flop, because if you don't do it here and get corrected, when you start up your own, you're your own. Okay, so during those days in my school days, I always attend clinics very, very well, because that's the practical aspect of all those theories we are being bamboozled in the class. Okay, and from the course of my practice here, I learned that distinction is good, though, but the client knows who treats his dog and the dog gets well.
Exactly.
That's the person that has distinction for clients. You have distinction and the dog dies on your table, to them, you are not a vet. Okay, so that question, whether I've been practicing in school, no, but my foundation from my family made me more resilient to a lot of things. And two things always boils in my mind every day. I have it on my bed: determination and focus. Because this world we are into, a lot of distractions are. But once you have a focus with determination, you just needed a small effort. You get to your target, just small.
Exactly.
But if you give in to distractions, ephemerals, pins, clothes, and the like, you won't get to where you are going. Like I told you, I don't allow any dime I gets to my house. I either branch to, yes, I don't allow. I'm not as small as, had it been Pet and Vet could even sell half crates, I will buy. Even one canned food, I will buy.
I'm tempted to ask if you are married.
Yes, I did that. I did that last year, Easter.
Okay.
April 8th to be precise.
So now you allow some money to go home with you, right?
Yes. No, I should. I should.
Thank you, Dr. Ejiofor.
So I think there's another question I'm leaving behind.
Okay,
I can't remember.
go ahead.
I don't. Okay.
No, so
Can you remind me?
I think you covered it.
Okay.
You know, with each passing experience that you have, you learn. So
yes,
and I think that's
family.
very important concept.
Yes, for my family, because my father used to tell us we are 7, and I happen to be the last of 7. We are 3 boys and 4 women now. I'll call them women now because I'm the last. So my father would tell us when we are small, look, do not look on those ladies. They are another man's responsibility. So work for and only on your own. Go and start up on your own. So my parents start buying clothes as small as when I was in just 3. I follow my father because he was a mason. I served mess in those days. So he built me up from all those mania stuff. That was why when I was in vet school, I was able to concentrate in clinical aspects so that I can get results. What client needs is result.
Yeah,
do not that
right.
Dogs will not die in your hands, but exhaust your knowledge.
Yeah.
Do as much as you can to do whatever that is right and that is to the best of your knowledge. Sometimes animal dies as human beings do, irrespective of all other medical things you put in place. Somebody will still die. So that's it. So that's from my family. I get that resilient mind. Thank you very much.
Dr. Ejiofor, we are very proud of you. Dr. Francisca Nkechi said, their story resonates with me. It's actually scary to start, especially when you don't have enough finance. However, being steadfast and honesty will make one grow. Dr. Buka has been raising his hands, and I want to also give one minute to Dr. Buka, 1 minute to Dr. Motayo, because she wrote something very interesting. But I want to ask Dr. Shadrach first. I'll go to Dr. Buka, go to Dr. Motayo, and then I will hand over to our able community engagement manager in Farmalert. Dr. Shadrach, right?
Yes.
There was a time I was owing. And you know, I didn't want to wake up for 6 months. Right? Like 6 months. You will sleep. You will wish that the next day will not come. You will wake up to the same problem, right? Do you have instances where you feel like you should not go out that particular day because you have overwhelming challenge? What keeps you going, Dr. Shadrach?
I mean, absolutely, absolutely. So, like you said earlier, you know, what people get to hear is actually, you know, the success stories, but you know, every other thing that goes behind, we don't talk about it. So I was telling my team, this was 2 weeks ago. We were really close to a particular opportunity which was going to, you know, give us a huge boost, and you know, coming through stages over almost 40,000 applications down to 5, and then we still didn't, because it was a one winner takes all, and then we didn't get it. I felt exhausted, so I now turned back and I said, if we close shop now, or we say we're tired, what do we do first with our immediate constituency of, you know, our team, all the vets that were onboarded on the platform? What do we do with the users that are now connecting with veterinary doctors? So what keeps me going for me as a person is that bigger picture. I've tried as much as possible to take myself away from it. And the universe has a way of consoling us every time we like that. So the challenges will come really, but clear about what you are and where you are at part time, so that
I love that. I love that. I love that. So I think for everybody listening, there will be time you want to close shop. I know we have this weird picture of success. Prado G. Well, you know, I don't know these clothes, but very nice clothes. There's this very nice picture. Now, Tony Elumelu used to show his picture in Instagram, where very boss, you know, some you just you right? He did that keep the booker. He works with NAPDAC. I saw that he was raising his hand. I'm asking you to unmute if you can see him, and then just quickly say something. Afternoon.
Well, thank you. Good afternoon, Femi, and all other.
Your office looks well made.
It's actually really very exciting. Hearing these stories from junior colleagues, it's not only inspiring to the fellow junior colleagues, even junior colleagues. As a regulator, there is a point that almost all the three of them, in their discussion, they are into one aspect, maybe subconscious of documentation. You can see Dr. Rose was able to, she remembered to take a picture when the shop was empty. And now she shared as an inspiration. That's a habit or spirit of documentation. So also, and other Dr. Akpem, they are all in their discussion. They mentioned that they are into documenting some of what they are doing. Maybe subconsciously that they didn't even go to maybe attending a regular course of, say, quality management system. You need to document, you need to have your SOP, you need to write this, that. Subconsciously they are doing it. So what I'm just calling on, I'm calling on every one of us, the senior colleagues, the junior colleagues, and the mates that are just coming on. Please, let's now direct our conscience toward documenting every bit of what we do. Success stories, so that we can develop insight out of it. And one thing that the most of issue of data, and this issue of documentation will help you to develop data. At the end of the day, you can come up with some insights. I say, look, in so years, I saw I've written this much failure or this much reduction, that much reduction. What caused this? What caused that? That will help you in taking decision in improving your business. So mine is just to encourage us all, including senior colleagues, that I can say Dr. Charles, I can say Dr. Gani and others. So we should please imbibe in that aspect of documentation. And I will want to maybe this will serve as a lesson for PCN to also be even bringing even the senior colleague to share their challenges so that we'll see how to fortunately we are with VCN too.
Yep.
Gani was colleagues also to at least share their challenges. Some of these their challenges will help those coming up to know where to block, how to improve. So thank you very much.
Dr. Buka, I'll be coming for you in one of our sessions so that at least you can teach us how to start importation business and then the NAFDAC thing we need to. I think the veterinary community will want to know that. But I think you raised a very vital information that I would have regretted if we didn't call you for. And everybody needs to listen. You will not have another opportunity to relive your past. If you don't capture it, you have lost it. And you know, my interaction with some of these funders is that once you don't have an evidence, you cannot swear to God. You know, in Africa, we can swear to God, right? If you don't have the documents for them, it's gone. That look at it this way. If Dr. Rose did not capture that,
is it Femi?
Yes.
You know, we were saying Botswana have been exporting something to Europe. If this one exporting Kenya, this and that. Do you know what oil do? They all rely on documentation. They document every bit of activity, right from farm or even from procuring the input. They get detailed document of those, how these things were used, when they were used, and what happened along the time when they are using. Do you understand?
We need to get you in.
That leads to.
We need to get you in to talk on this documentation part, because I think for us as a team, I always tell my team, if you don't have it written down, you don't have a proof of it. And
no, you see, whatever is not documented is not done. That is from regulatory perspective.
We're already starting another echo. But I'm going to be reaching out to you to discuss this. I want to quickly reach Dr. Gani's remark. He said, I've enjoyed every bit of this session today, and the story of my startup 36 years ago is still the same, and that is quite nostalgic. So whoever cares to start today can do it, and you should just take a cue from these young great minds here. My very vital advice to everyone: be careful at every invitation to render your service outside your practice location because of the insecurity, kidnapping rampant today. Secondly, have a very good photo album of your growth, as that will give you joy tomorrow when you look back pictorially. God bless you all. Thank you. Another statement, Dr. Gani, take photos. See, be proud of that moment when you only have 16 cans of food and 5 pieces of dog soap. If I were you, Dr. Rose, I will frame that and put it on my DP to remind me of how far I've come. And then we are so proud of you. Dr. Omotayo, after Dr. Omotayo, I've taken time. I want to hand over back to Dr. Tumsia to take over the conversation.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I've really enjoyed the sessions and all the startup stories. Like I was trying to say on the chat, I started in my aunt's house as a squatter after youth service, and I used her sitting room as my consulting room, and under her tank as my boarding facility. The slab in front of our entryway was my examination table. And I'll tell vets, every graduate, you will be a lazy vet to say you don't have work. Because I came fresh from Jigawa Youth Service, And after trudging up and down May and Baker, Pfizer for interviews, and I saw none coming, I just started something. I just put a small signboard in front of my house, vet doctor available. And people were coming. In fact, I remember one incident where a Lieutenant Colonel came into my aunt's sitting room and wanted me to come to his place at Ikoyi, Lagos. And I went there. And unfortunately for me, I gave an injection to his rams. And before I could go to the next ram, the first one had started jerking, and he died. And the man said he was taking me to his guard room. I was shivering like a chicken. It was horrible. You know, then they said, give levamisole. And I looked and I just evaluated, this is the weight. And I gave. Since then, I've never touched a ram with levamisole till date. Because if you cannot weigh your animal, don't try anything with levamisole. There's a very narrow safety margin. So, you know, you learn these things. And that was when I told myself I must go for tutelage. And I joined myself with Dr. Bode Thomas, who's now in the US.
Wow.
And I just kept going there. I wasn't employed, but I kept going there. And one day, just said, do you want a job? I said, well, if I can do a locum here. And that was how we started. I did a locum with him for a year, and I opened Paws and Claws. So it's not a big deal. If you don't have money, like I said, I borrowed 50,000 from a client.
Wow.
A client I was going to do house calls for, and she gave me the 50,000. And within 2 months, I sold some puppies and I got the money back and gave her. No vet can have the excuse of I don't have a job.
Wow.
You can start something from your house.
Wow.
So it's an encouragement for those who are looking for what to do. You know, go around, move around vet clinics. I used to go to PVC then in those days, pet care, when they were at Alade Market. I sit there, see what they are doing. Sometimes someone is saying, I want puppies. I'll say, oh, I know somebody else who has puppies. And I was the liaison person. You know, somehow money will come into your pocket.
Wow.
So we can't just sit at home and say there's no job. This profession is really a very lucrative one. And see where we've come today. You can't be a poor vet. No vet is poor. There are so many potentials out there, so many areas to explore. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Omotayo, the CEO of Paws and Claws. Dr. Macaulay said, Dr. Macaulay Rashid started my poultry farm, Macmola Farm Business, in 1992 with 11,000. Today, glory be to the Almighty God, the farm is worth some sizable millions. When somebody says it's sizable, it's because they are avoiding calling the tens or the hundreds of millions. Every success has a story, right? So when your story looks like a horror movie, enjoy it. It will not last. Don't kill yourself for it. Take pleasure, take pride in your little stories. And of course, one day we'll be sharing your success. And I want to also thank Comrade Ejiofor specifically for also patronizing our wholesale business. Dr. Tumsia, I know I should have finished this by 3:30, but again, I'm 3 minutes past the time, and I want to hand over to you. Thank you so much. You can please thank all our vetpreneurs and thank all our senior colleagues that has also made hands contribution, and then, of course, take charge of the meeting. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you very much, our vetpreneurs for the day. Dr. Shadrach, Dr. Rose, and Dr. Ejiocomrade. Personally, I like the name. Since I saw the name on the flyer, I called the name repeatedly because I have a colleague who is also Igbo, and I love the way they carry this boldness when it comes to naming their businesses. You know, it has to be. Then we used to call him San Colino's veterinary consult. So his name was there. And personally, I think I feel attacked when they talked about people who earn money and then they spend almost immediately. So you have to learn to save. And I'm also guilty of the fear to start, having that fear to start something because I just feel I might fail. So I hope we've all learned something today. We've actually learned a lot. And from yesterday when I saw Dr. Rosemary's picture, where she had just some few cans of dog food, I kept, I did the slide, I did everything, but I just kept going through their pictures. Like it's on my phone. I just kept going through it. I was like, wow, this is inspiring. That's why I said we're going to tell this story with pictures. So make sure to document your humble beginning, and please take out that fear of starting. Start something today. Start something with what you have. And for veterinarians, there's always something out there for us. Sometimes I wake up, I don't have anything, and then somebody calls me, they need this, and then I make money out of it. So it's a very lucrative profession. We're doctors, and then we're hustlers. So that's the good thing about being a vet. And then the training has fashioned us, to persevere. Thank you so much, my senior colleagues, Dr. Gani Enaharo, Dr. Charles Ibe, Doctor, I didn't pick the name, the last doctor that spoke. My apologies. Thank you so much for your input. And so we just, before we call it a day, we have some few announcements to make. Please pay attention. Thank you. I'm sure it was an interesting session. So, hello?
Yes, I was thinking we'll get a 30 seconds final word opportunity. There's something on my mind I wanted to drop.
Oh, please.
Yeah.
10 seconds. So, we have 10 seconds.
Yeah. So this is just to reemphasize, because I quickly saw that was mentioned in the chat, and I felt that would be my closing statement. We cannot overemphasize the need for mentorship in this profession. Don't just graduate and run off on your own. 2019, on my birthday, I wrote a very long letter to Dr. Gani. In fact, I'm sharing this publicly for the first time. My very dear daddy, telling him why I needed him to mentor me. We need to accept that. We need to realize that people have gone ahead of us, and it pays to be able to tap into them. And when you get a mentor, don't just reach out to them only when you feel you need something. No. Can you try to follow up? Build that relationship where you can talk beyond just a transaction. So the key word is get a mentor, get someone who you speak about your lowest points with, and even share your success stories with too. Thank you.
And I hope we got value from all that we learned today. Reach out to someone you aspire to be like, and don't reach out to people only when you have problems. These people are there to help us avoid pitfalls, through guidance from their experiences in life and other things. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining. I'm going to be announcing things. We talk about these things every session, but we keep saying, and so that Farmalert is entrenched in your minds. You think Farmalert, you see Farmalert. So for businesses, this is we're supporting the veterinary business with logistics and distribution. We're providing you for at the moment the wholesale outlet is located in Abuja, Goma, but we are sending things across the north, pet food, pet accessories. So we're literally bringing convenience at a zero cost. We have the number on the screen, and then the email address. You can chat them, send them emails inquiring about what they have. We have different brands of cat food, pet accessories, pet shampoos, and a few other things. Dr. Ejiofor has been a loyal customer. Thank you.
Thank you.
And then the Farmalert Radio. You can join our team as a volunteer. This is a platform for you to communicate to the world your beautiful ideas around animal health, ranging from One Health, zoonoses, animal production, you name it all. And then we have a physical studio, and I am presently streaming live from the Farmalert Radio, from the studio in Abuja here. So please reach out to me, and you can also send us an email if you have an idea you want to share, you want your voice to be heard. Please do not hesitate. Reach out to us. We're an ever-growing team. It's warm. Farmalert is, I'm not just saying this, but that is it. And then there's also the veterinary business management software. And presently there's a discount going on more than 50%. The actual price is 120,000 and it's going for 39,900. You can also call the number on the screen to make further inquiries and clarification. This will help you support your business and help you save. So you don't stop, you know what you're doing. You just don't earn and blow the money away. So I think this is a very good tool for any business. It automates your and other features, as you can see. Please, this is just going to go for like a minute or two. If there are other topics you want us to address via this platform, please drop your suggestions in the chat box, and we call it a day. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
For joining in. God bless you all. Dr. Ejiocomrade, I love
Comrade.
your business. Personally, I love that name, and I love it.
Thank you.
So please, let's start something today. You can follow us on all our social media platforms, on YouTube, LinkedIn.
It's using that name, comrade, to intimidate us.
Yes.
No, not really. Oh, not really. We started from those days in school.
The very time started using comrade. I say one man, comrade, it must be intimidating. But we are glad to have him.
Thank you very much, Dr.
So we are so excited to have
you.
you.
So follow us on all our social media platforms on
Thank you, sir.
LinkedIn, Facebook, and Instagram to stay updated with all of our activities. You just have to type Farmalert and we're there. Thank you very much, and God bless you. See you next time. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Dr. Tunsia.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Bye. Thank